Is it time you stopped researching narcissism? I know it's a very uncomfortable question. However, your situation is not comfortable, and it's so important we begin to ask ourselves these difficult questions. I get it. Researching narcissism is a game changer. When you discovered it, it was such a relief. You thought you were losing your mind, and discovering narcissism was particularly helpful to you. It helped you to make sense of the difficult situation you found yourself in. However, your algorithms are now all adapted to researching narcissism, and so you'll find out more and more and more about them, their tactics, and how they manipulate and control people. But if you're still stuck and embroiled in the situation, then my uncomfortable question to you is, how is continuing to research narcissism really beneficial to you? In this week's video, I'm going to outline 3 reasons why you need to ponder upon whether it's time to stop researching narcissism. I'm Keely Taverner, a specialist psychotherapist who helps my empaths navigate tricky, complex dynamics with unnecessarily difficult people. I help people to understand the confusion they find themselves in so they can make empowered, conscious choices to move on with their lives. Now let's be crystal clear here. It's not easy to just pack your bags, get up and go. Power dynamics are always at interplay. And I know you're tired of going round in vicious circles, because often when you go round in vicious circles, other aspects of your life will also decline. That can not only be your mental health, but your finances, your career, your personal development. Narcissism is all-consuming, and it will get the best of you. But my uncomfortable question to you once again, is perpetually researching narcissism good for you? Because the next phase of your development is about healing. And narcissism isn't about reading all the books and understanding it in your head. Narcissism is a psychological and emotional issue. If you found yourself perplexed by your own behavior, or why you've not been able to let go, or why you still yearn for that person in your life, it is totally understandable. You need support, you need help to be able to move on from your situation, because I believe there is only so far that you can go alone. So my first tip, in terms of why it may be important for you to stop researching narcissism, is it can lead to your stuckness. And if you're not careful, it can move on to become where you become obsessed with the narcissist, and they've taken so much from you. And now if your energy is perpetually focused on them, again, you're not focusing on understanding you and the dynamics between the two of you that mean you're trapped. Now, I know you understand that you have poor boundaries. I know you get it. But this is much more complex than having poor boundaries. Researching will keep you stuck if you're not also accompanying that with your own healing journey. Secondly, what do you know about you? What do you know about your own red flags in the situation? Because I know you know the narcissist's red flags. You know the tactics, the gaslighting, the victim blaming. You have been seasoned by the narcissist. You get it. But what about you? What about your need to go above and beyond for people? What is that about for you? Why do you need to do that? Why do you need their validation? Why are you always looking outside of yourself for validation? Uncomfortable questions, and one that is very deep and often has links back to our childhood, to our most vulnerable time. You see, because often the skills and the qualities were entrenched in our younger years. And so to heal from this situation, you can't just understand it through research alone. You need to be able to intertwine that with the psychological and the emotional and your own personal history, because it is also, narcissistic abuse is also personal and unique to you, how you were raised, your relationships, and it fundamentally picks up on your own self-worth. The key to moving on is self-awareness. What you do have is narcissist awareness. You know a great deal about them, but what do you know about you? Why do you need to go above and beyond? Why can't you let go? Why do you need closure? Why do you need to have that last conversation with them? What is that about for you? And why is it so difficult to say no? These aren't easy questions, and the answers aren't always easy. And narcissistic abuse is based on trust. You see, at some point in your journey, you trusted that person. They were close to you. You thought they had your back. However, you know they've stabbed you in your back on multiple occasions. And isn't it perplexing that you know so much, yet when they come back with their sorry story and their explanation, your soft heart makes a way for them. You see, one of the challenges you may well have in any abusive relationship, it's our relationship with hope that keeps us hanging on in there. Because in our mind's eye, we have a vision of how it should be. And that's one of the factors that can also keep you stuck. And that is what you need to understand. Your personal relationship with hope. That is crucial to you. Your personal aspirations for the relationship. Sometimes it's that fantasy that keeps us holding on. On my TikTok account today, I did a video about the ways that empaths placate narcissists. Placate means to appease somebody. And often, I get it, empaths, we do it because we want the quiet life. But when you appease somebody, when you placate them, when you make decisions for a quiet life, you actually make your situation worse. And it's one of the ways it all becomes entrenched and much harder for you to navigate out of. There is only so far you can go on your own. And if this speaks to you, give me a heart, give me a like, pose a question, give me a comment below. Let me know what's going on for you. I'm passionate about helping you to understand the situation you're in so you can begin to make informed, conscious choices where you're self-aware, where you champion you. And that is a process. And that's exactly what we do on my program, Navigate Narcissism Now. You see, it's a complex issue and you need community and like-minded people around you to assist you to not only understand your situation, but to promote the healing that you need. And you reclaim your energy, because when you stop researching them, what are the dreams and aspirations for your life that you might need to start to research? What ambitions do you have? What dreams have been abandoned? Who would you like to be? What about that? What about you? What about your potential? You see, when we're researching them, we're not looking at us, and your life will become stuck. And if you're in an intimate relationship with a narcissist, it's highly likely they might be having multiple intimate relationships, or they're off to the next victim and you've been abandoned and you're bamboozled by that. And what's even more complex is you may still yearn for them. You may still want them. And that is difficult. How do you deal with the emotional aspect? Narcissistic abuse, like I said, is a psychological and an emotional issue with roots right back into our most vulnerable years when we were children. And we need help. There's only so far you can go alone. And there's no shame in needing professional help. I speak to many people and they're like, Key, I find it perplexing, man. I know this stuff. People even ask me, how can you help me? I know it all. I've read all the books. I said, exactly. That's the situation you find yourself in. That's how difficult it is. You know it, yet you can't apply it to your life. Why is it not being ingrained into your life? Why can't you just cut them off? It's not as simple as that. And lastly, if you perpetually research narcissism, you will develop victim consciousness. If you don't develop self-awareness, you'll forever feel like a victim. And then you're highly likely to meet other narcissistic individuals or people with narcissistic traits who take your kindness for weakness. And you'll be baffled and bamboozled like, I thought I was over this. How come I've ended up in a similar situation? It is perplexing, no two ways about it. Dealing with a narcissist is a perplexing, complex situation. And it's one of the reasons why we may need professional help. Some people may be able to go it alone, get it, understand it, and apply it. But that's not the same for everybody. And for many of us empaths who've had tricky histories, where maybe our parents didn't give us safe, consistent love, we can often be replicating what is familiar. It's in the unconscious, you see. And what we need is to develop our consciousness. How do you do that? By self-awareness. And for some of us, you will need professional help. Another issue you have, empath, is you don't believe in yourself. You doubt yourself. So, for example, if you've put the boundaries in place and you were able to sit with the guilt, because often many of us empaths will put boundaries in place and then we feel incredibly guilty, and then that promotes self-doubt. This could be one of the reasons why we block, unblock, block, reach out, try again. But what is it about you that means you don't believe in yourself? Why don't you believe in yourself? Why do you need their validation? Why do you seek it so desperately? Why have you pedestaled them? What is it about them that potentially, not everybody, but what is it about them that you have idolized? Maybe the thing you've idolized about them might be something that you might need to develop for yourself, such as confidence. Doesn't mean you want to be arrogant, but being confident might be a trait, and that's what you may need help to develop in yourself. You see, the more you can believe in yourself, wow, that is a game changer for your life. I nor you have no idea who you could be when you begin to take back your power and develop your self-belief, alongside taking responsibility for yourself. I totally get it. Researching narcissism is a game changer. It helps to make us feel sane in an insane situation. You realize it's not just about you. But to move on, it is really about the healing. And I don't fully believe you can do that alone, especially for my empaths who have had tricky past, and if you have had a narcissistic parent, because that has hardwired you to deal with unnecessarily difficult people. It's just innate. It's something you do without even thinking about it. And you had to do that as a child, because if you didn't, God only knows what would have happened to you. You were aligned to that parent. So, not all of us have had narcissistic parents, but as a highly empathic, highly agreeable person who hates conflict and often smooths things over, you need to understand how that is actually incredibly unbeneficial to you. Even as a psychotherapist in our training, it doesn't teach us when empathy works against you. And there are times in our lives, dear empaths, when empathy, your kindness, your compassion can work against you. And we need to learn when that is happening, because empathy is never a curse. It's an absolute gift, but with any gift comes responsibility. Otherwise, we will be exploited. And 20 years, 5 years, 10 years, 15 years later, you're still banging the same drum about how cruel and unkind that person was to you. Wouldn't it be better for you to be in a situation where you'll be like 15 years later, 5 years later, 6 months later, you'll be like, you know what? I didn't welcome that situation into my life. I didn't want it, but it revolutionized my life. It made me change. It made me look at the man in the mirror. And the changes I have made have given me a very different life that I love and I enjoy. That is something that I am passionate about helping people to do. Because in any adverse situation, there is opportunity. Opportunity for self-insight, self-inspection. And that is the game changer. Game changer. That's transformation. And for Narcissistic Abuse Awareness Day, I've created a 3-day challenge to help you develop knowledge, support, and a deeper insight into what is going on. So ask me your questions, because I know it is incredibly baffling when you understand it, yet you are still trapped in your situation. Let's be frank. Power dynamics are always at interplay when we're dealing with narcissists. So whilst you're researching all the generic information, your situation is unique to who you are, and you won't find that in the books. It's about you specifically and personally. I know you want transformation. Sign up for my 3-day challenge on Narcissist Abuse Awareness Day. I'm going to help you to get to understand exactly why you have the knowledge, but the insights are not in your behavior. This is incredibly important for your healing journey. Like I said, any comments or questions below, feel free to ask me, because I'm passionate about helping people to learn, understand, and heal from this devastating situation. Change is possible, but you may have gone as far as you can by yourself. If this speaks to you, give your girl heart a like. Share with someone who is also going through something similar, because it is no joke. And if you leave it as it is and you are stuck researching with YouTube, TikTok, all your algorithms attuned to narcissistic abuse, it may be a hindrance to your journey. It is a journey within, and that is the ultimate game changer. I hope this video has been of benefit to you or someone you know. Empaths, do take care of you, because if you don't, no one is coming to save you. You must learn to save your precious self. And I know many of us have got issues with worthiness, and this disaster could be the opportunity for you to change your precious life. Do take care of you, because if you don't, who will?